Hello, winners. This is Dangerous and a surprise, but not for Kentucky, but for the competitors. Before the news, subscribe to the channel to receive more news from the Cats. Let's get to the news. Pope said that Travis Perry and Trent Noah are dangerous, and they have a great future on the blue team. Have you been following? With new talent, Mark Pope brings up an intriguing point about the Kentucky Wildcats season. The Kentucky basketball coach highlighted two names that, until now, could have been considered off the radar. Rookies Travis Perry and Trent Noah. On a team already full of stars and high expectations, these two players emerged as true surprises, showing an evolution that could significantly impact the Wildcats' performance this season. The Wildcats' recent history under Pope's leadership has generated discussions and expectations, especially considering the coach's focus on maximizing the potential of his pieces coming through the transfer portal and high school recruiting. Pope, in his first season at the helm, emphasized from the beginning that he wanted no surprises in terms of performance. His plan was for each player to contribute exactly as expected, developing at the level expected for each stage of their career. With that mindset, Pope built a roster that in theory should not have any major swings, and judging by their early progress, the plan seemed to be working. However, even with this methodical approach, Perry and Noah emerged in unexpected ways. When they arrived in Lexington, both faced the typical rookie challenges. Pope was blunt about the initial adjustment difficulties, describing how both players struggled to keep up with the pace and defensive concepts of SEC basketball. Perry and Noah faced challenges common to many rookies: losing balls, missing shots, not positioning themselves properly on defense. But instead of succumbing to the pressure, they found ways to improve with each practice, turning weaknesses into strengths. The narrative built around these two players changes dramatically over the course of a few months. If both seemed far from playing significant minutes at the beginning of the summer, Pope now feels confident in putting them on the court. They have not only survived the demands of Kentucky's system, they have thrived. Pope's statement during his interview with the Sources Say podcast was clear. Not only do they not disrupt practice, they are dangerous. This evolution is a testament not only to the hard work of the players, but also to Pope's ability to identify and accelerate the development of his young talents. Perry and Noah are no longer just prospects looking to establish themselves. They are now pieces that can integrate into the system and make a real contribution to the team's success. The fact that Pope has entrusted both of them with responsibilities in such a short period of time shows that there is a new dynamic emerging within the Wildcats. Fans in Big Blue Nation, always on the lookout for every detail of the team, now have more reason to believe that the team is prepared to face the challenges of the season with unexpected depth. With the season about to start, the anticipation is growing as to how these rookies will perform under the spotlight. Perry and Noah's development shows that even in an environment as competitive as SEC basketball, there is room for growth and for surprises that can change the course of a team. Have you been following along? At the end of the video, let us know what you think. The excitement surrounding the Kentucky Wildcats 2024-25 season appears to have reached a new level, and much of that is due to the confidence in this team's shooting ability. Under Pope, the current group is widely considered to be one of the best shooting teams college basketball has seen in recent memory. Pope, in his straightforward style, has made it clear that this is the best shooting group he has ever coached, making it clear that this will be the Wildcats' core identity this season. Pope, known for implementing a dynamic, long-range shooting style of offense, has proven this during his tenure at BYU, where his team was one of the best in the country in three-point attempts. However, he believes that Kentucky's roster has more depth, experience, and talent than any he has ever coached. The coach's confidence is reflected in the players themselves, who seem to share his optimistic outlook. The coach, in building this roster, had a clear mission: to transform Kentucky into a team that doesn't just make shots, but redefines what it means to be an elite shooting team. For the players themselves, the question isn't whether they can live up to those expectations, but rather how impressive that dominance will be. Players like Amari Williams have publicly stated that this is the best shooting team they've ever played with, and possibly the best they'll ever have the chance to compete with in their careers. That's not a statement made lightly. Williams, who has competed at a high level, sees in this group an offensive capability that is rarely found in college basketball, with players who can shoot with accuracy and consistency from anywhere on the court. The Kentucky Wildcats' recent pro day only reinforced what many already assumed. Otega Owa, another of the team's talents, was emphatic in stating that the players' public displays, while impressive, don't capture the reality of what goes on behind the scenes. In practice, according to him, the players continue to hit shots at an absurd rate, demonstrating an offensive chemistry that lives up to the hype surrounding them. Owa even says that at times, he and his teammates know that a shot is going in before the ball even hits the net, something that, for any team, represents an unshakable level of confidence. This precision is not limited to long-range shots, but also extends to other areas of the court. Kobe Brea, who was at Dayton and is recognized by Pope as one of the most efficient mid-range shooters of the last decade, acknowledges how challenging it has been for him to stand out on a roster where the competition is so fierce. Having always seen himself as the best shooter on his previous teams, he now questions that position at Kentucky. It shows the depth of offensive talent Pope has assembled, where even the most renowned specialists are challenged by their own teammates. The expectation around this group of shooters is that they will not only play a central role in the Wildcats' offensive strategy, but that they will redefine what it means to have an efficient shooting team at the college level. Pope has assembled a team that aims to not just compete, but dominate offensively, with a roster that, from the top to the bottom of the rotation, can contribute baskets from any spot on the floor. And that's exactly what Kentucky is looking for this season. It's going to be interesting to see Pope work with these guys. Let's get started. Pope's balanced approach. During Kentucky's media day, he made it clear that his philosophy revolves around maximizing shooting opportunities, particularly three-pointers, something his players have embraced wholeheartedly. Pope's team is already focused on shooting around 35 three-pointers per game, which might sound like an ambitious number to many. However, when you consider the caliber of shooters he has assembled, that expectation doesn't seem unreasonable. Virtually every player on the team has reliable long-range ability, turning the Wildcats' offense into a machine capable of unbalancing any opposing defense. This volume of three-point shooting is a clear trend in modern basketball, and Pope, always aware of best practices, knows that this strategy could be the difference for Kentucky this season. At the same time, Pope recognizes that success cannot be based solely on a formula. He knows that the game of basketball is fluid, with variables that constantly change throughout a game and a season. That's why the use of advanced analytics and statistics is essential to his approach. Kentucky's team is not only concerned with the number of shots, but also with efficiency per possession. According to Jackson Robinson, who has played under Pope, the coach constantly monitors his team's points per possession, ensuring that they are always above 1 point per possession, which indicates sustainable offensive efficiency. The introduction of analytics in basketball is not new, but what sets Pope apart is his openness to absorbing all possible information without leaving aside his intuition and feeling as a coach. He admits that while analytics provide a number of valuable insights, there are also limitations. The sample size can be small, especially early in the season, and the dynamics of a basketball game change too quickly for any coach to rely solely on numbers. A game can present new variables at any given moment, and what worked in the early minutes may not be effective in the end. This flexibility in using statistics is what puts Pope in a position of prominence among college coaches. He understands that you can't just rely on numbers. Instead, He makes a point of balancing hard data with the emotional and intuitive aspects of the game. Ultimately, real-time decision-making often depends more on what a coach sees on the court than what a spreadsheet suggests. As he put it, you kind of just have to read the data in real time, highlighting the importance of adjusting as the game progresses. This balance of data and intuition is what can lead Kentucky to a successful season. Pope, with his keen eye for detail and willingness to embrace the analytical side of the game, has all the ingredients to turn the Wildcats into an offensive powerhouse this season. His confidence in his shooters and his team's ability to adapt will be crucial as the challenges ahead. The Kentucky Wildcats enter the season with high expectations, and with Pope at the helm, we're likely to see a team that not only lives and dies by the three-point shot, but also knows when and how to make critical adjustments along the way. What about baseball? The resurgence of the University of Kentucky baseball program in recent years is a clear testament to the growth and investment in the sport. Recently named the 31st best college baseball program by D1 Baseball, Kentucky baseball, known as the Bat-Cats, has reached a new level of recognition. This advancement reflects not only the effort on the field, but also a combination of factors such as state-of-the-art infrastructure, an increasingly engaged fan base, and most importantly, the vision and leadership of head coach Nick Mingione. The last 2 years have been especially remarkable, with the Bat-Cats reaching back-to-back super regionals for the first time in their history, and most impressively, a historic appearance in the 2024 Men's College World Series. This was the first time the program had reached this stage of the tournament, which marked an unprecedented feat and symbolized a new era for baseball in Kentucky. The praise received by D1 Baseball, which described the program as having a unique recruiting profile, a fantastic stadium, and an emerging fan base, reinforces that Kentucky baseball is on the rise. One of the major differentiators in this successful phase was the opening of Kentucky Proud Park in 2019. Since its opening, the stadium has become a true stage for major competitions, witnessing the largest audiences in the history of the program. The last 2 seasons have been remarkable in this regard, with the 9 most-watched games occurring during that period. The attendance record was broken in the Super Regional Decider against Oregon State in June 2024, when 7,558 fans showed up to support the Cats on their way to the College World Series. The impact of Kentucky Proud Park on the program is undeniable, providing an excellent facility for both athletes and fans. In addition to the infrastructure, Kentucky's continued success is closely tied to the work of Nick Mingione, who enters his 9th season as head coach of the Bat-Cats. Under his leadership, the program has reached new heights, including Mingione being named SEC Coach of the Year for the 2nd time, as well as being named National Coach of the Year by Perfect Game and the NCBWA. His leadership has transformed Kentucky into a highly competitive program, and his recent contract extension through 2029 demonstrates the university's commitment to the future of baseball in the state. The future of Kentucky baseball looks bright, with the program assembling the best recruiting classes in its history and continuing to attract top talent from the transfer portal. With a 69.92% win rate since the start of the 2023 season, the Cats have solidified their position among the best teams in the country, trailing only powerhouses such as Virginia, Tennessee, and LSU. This statistical success and consistency on the field are clear evidence that the program is poised to continue its upward trajectory. What once might have been seen as a one-off effort has now become a growing tradition of Kentucky baseball excellence. The combination of a clear recruiting vision, a world-class infrastructure, and a highly skilled coach puts the Bat-Cats in a prime position to continue competing among the best college teams. Have you been following baseball as a fan? Comment below.